Hey, it's Paul, that bourbon guy. Let's find a bottle. Let's go with this one from Found North. I'm above the whiskey warehouse, and on this cold winter day, what better than to talk about Canadian whiskey? In particular, I'd like to talk to you about Found North Whisky. It's going to make you rethink of what Canadian whiskey is all about. When you think about Canadian whiskey, you're thinking of something that is rather mellow, easy drinking, one note, typically a metallic vanilla note. It's not bad as a light drink or used in mixers, and is readily found on shelves with the big brands that you see today. But with Found North Whisky, they're doing things slightly different. It's more along the lines of what Scotch whiskey does their blended whiskey today. So what Found North Whisky is going to be doing is they are sourcing from various distilleries throughout Canada single malt whiskeys. Single malt meaning a single type of grain. It can be corn, rye, wheat, or barley. And they will go through and obtain different barrels of different single malts and blend them together into their final product. So I have a couple of these available here on my table, and the ones that I have myself, I happen to have their batch 8 release. I missed out on their batch 9 release, and last year was able to pick up their batch 10 release. But today we want to focus in on this particular bottle. It's a Hark First Flight. And I'd like to get a shout out to Liz, a good friend of mine. She was able to get that and was gracious enough to allow me to open it up and share my thoughts in terms of nose and taste with everyone. So with that in mind, let me give you some details about the bottle. So Hark First Flight is a blending of 22 to 27-year-old corn whiskey and 15 and 18-year-old rye whiskey. Together, the bottle comes in at 123.2 proof and is finished in Muscatel and New American oak casks. Let's get into the nose. For the nose, I'm really picking up a lot of red fruits, some cherries, but a lot of the other berries as well. Strawberries, maybe a little peach to the whole thing. A hint of vanilla, but the fruit note is much stronger than the vanilla. Also getting a little bit of toasted caramel. No ethanol expressions on this whatsoever at 123.2 proof, which is interesting. Very sweet overall on the nose. Let's get into the taste. Yeah, for the taste, that sweetness definitely hits you up front on the front in the tongue. I want to say it's actually now more of a peach jam. So it's very jammy, still very fruity on the overall taste. Once it gets towards the mid palate, I'm actually picking up some notes of cinnamon, which I find kind of interesting. And then finally, towards the back of mid palate, towards the back of the palate, that blending of cinnamon and that jamminess, some allspice is introduced. So I think that's where the rye notes are starting to kick in and make itself known. So it's definitely not spicy up front, but it does give you just a tiny bit of spiciness towards the back end. It goes down nice. You can still feel some of that spiciness going all the way down the throat. It's not burning at all. This drink's way lower than the proof posted. I would say it feels more like it's about 100 proof than 123. So this is really good. I'm a fan of how Found North is doing things. By this blending of separate malts, you get that complexity both on the nose and on the palate. And it's a great expression coming out of Canada. If you go to their website, you can see everything that they have available. There is a few stores in the US, very limited, that do offer Found North Whiskey if you're lucky to find it. Otherwise, sign up on their website. I'll post a link below so that you can be notified for their next release. These are always small batches, and it gives you an opportunity to get into a lottery and your chance to buy a bottle. So with that in mind, if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think about Canadian whiskey. And until then, and if anyone asks, tell them you heard it from that bourbon guy.